Hey, what's up, guys? It's Confessions of a Doctorholic with Dr. Slayman. So, I've recorded this episode once before. For those of you who've been following me since I started the podcast, thank you, firstly. And secondly, I've released an episode back in the day called Gunners. It was quite the popular episode. And one thing that I did incorrectly last time was I was so heated, so angry, that I released my feelings onto this episode. And although they were real, and although I recorded it as a means of improving it across medical schools, I wanted to eliminate the idea of gunners. Not that it would be eliminated, but I wanted to make a difference. I may not have approached it in the right way. A few people messaged me when I released that episode telling me they knew exactly who I was talking about, because it was a universal problem. However, I think I should have addressed it in a different way, and probably not when I was super heated about it. So for those of you who don't know what a gunner is, let me tell you what Pinterest reckons. There's this photo, how to be a med school gunner. Self-satisfied smirk, eyes on the prize, lips slightly fecal from kissing ass, white coat freshly ironed, within brackets, by mum. Power tie, ID photo with the same self-satisfied smirk. Classic Abercrombie pose. Back pocket contains last year's cardiology exam everyone's been looking for. Price of Italian leather shoes, $212. Price of Armani pants, $158. Price of Nicole Miller tie, $87. Making a student look like a slob in front of the attending, priceless. Binder containing info on your patients, everyone else's patients, in case they drop the ball. Laser pointer for some reason, unusually small bulge. Quite embarrassing, isn't it? There's also some hilarious things that people say about gunners. Student Room has them, Reddit has them, YouTube has them. It's quite a thing. It's quite a thing that everyone deals with. Someone on Student Room said 90% of surgeons. That is not true. Or it could be, I suppose, depending on the school. So, in my experience, what a gunner is someone that makes you look awful in front of an attending. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you don't know the medical terms. It doesn't necessarily mean that you haven't prepared well enough or that you're not a medical student, a good medical student. It just means that they have found it in them. They found that art, that fine-tuned art of making you look bad in front of people that matter, and they know exactly how to suck up and to who. They usually get more opportunities, I would say, just because they appear good and you look sour in the background, so you automatically look bad. I say this from experience. Don't know if I necessarily looked bad. Anyway, so I had the student who I believe I can loosely call we are friends now because I mastered the art of gunners. So basically, I had the student and I knew what he was like since first year of medical school. But unfortunately, in my fourth year on my placement, he was part of my placement group. So basically, this person wasn't really doing the stuff that we needed to do. Like, he wasn't really, I suppose, doing the work. It's just that when an attending was around, he seemed like he was really busy. He would take every single opportunity to tuck down an NG tube. It got to a point where some people were actually quite frustrated because they couldn't get it signed because he would just take all of them. He would we would all agree that we would rock up at a certain time, what cases we would prepare, and he would prepare all of them, which makes me question a lot because it's like, how many times do you have in the day? And he would be quite sneaky about opportunities. He would come a little bit before everyone else, even though we agreed on a time, obviously without telling the attending that we all agreed on a time. And in that process, it just looks bad because the attending wouldn't go around going there's definitely a reason why everyone else came a little bit later. It just looks like, oh my God, the star student is extremely engrossed in their medical education. I remember being extremely frustrated for ages. I don't even remember what I was whinging about at that time. I definitely got over that. But then what I realized was, does it matter? At the end of the day, does it matter? I feel like there's so much riding on what attendings think of us, what regs think of us, what residents think of us. You want to stay in a program, you want to match into a program, you want people to think you're good so you can get a great letter of recommendation. But really, it takes 2 seconds to be a decent person. And I feel like if all of us are kind to one another, if all of us are mindful of each other, we can definitely all benefit and grow as a team. And I think that's the thing that pissed me off the most. It was that this person got all the opportunities while everyone else did not. But then if all of us shared, we'd all have equal opportunities. I sound like a communist right now. In my head, sharing is caring is the way to go. I see how that would be different for someone who would want to get all of the opportunities. I just want to know. So this is the question to all the gunners out there if you decide to listen to this episode. I know most of you probably don't have time if you're trying to prepare all those cases. How do you feel? Isn't it stressful? This reminds me of Never Have I Ever. So if those of you who have not seen the show, it's this funny ass show on Netflix. It's created by Mindy Kaling, who is hands down one of my favorite comedians of all time. I reckon she's so funny because she portrays the struggles of a brown American very well. And basically, it kind of shows how much of a gunner this person is, and also someone else in her class is quite a gunner. And I look at this and I feel like this is an extremely exhausting process. So to all of the gunners out there, I want to know, is it actually exhausting? Or is it some illusion? Or is this how I think you are when, in fact, you guys have some street smart ways of keeping on top of everything? I genuinely want to know. So basically what happened was that as time went along, I became less sensitized to the matter. I was just like, okay, so clearly I know the patterns that are exhibited by this person. I know that if we all decide on a time, this person will come a little bit earlier. So what do? You ignore that and you come a little bit earlier. I would like to think I'm a decent person, so I did tell my friends that I would be rocking up a little bit earlier. Instead of being like, hey, there's a cannula that needs to be put in, there's someone that we can catheterize, there is a suturing opportunity. I looked at my stuff. What do I need to get done? I would do it, and then I would give it to people who did not have the opportunity to do it and sort of try to hide it from this person. Is it petty? 100%. Did I feel a little bit better about it? Oh, freaking oath. And then I reckon with time, I just started trying to accept it, because the more I thought about it, and I was kind of psychoanalyzing this person, he was extremely anxious, extremely paranoid, didn't have that many friends. And all I could think about was, there's a reason why this person is like this. So here's my crazy theory. Back in the day, this person did not get as many opportunities. His parents came from a place where each one had to fight to get a really good opportunity. His parents literally fought to climb to the top. So what they instilled in this kid is, if you want to be successful like us, you have to fight to get to the top. So although I don't agree with that method, I see where he's coming from. And I feel like I grew from there. So my question to all of you is, and I'm assuming those of you who are listening to my episode are not gunners. I don't know why I'm assuming that. But if you are not a gunner, how do you deal with a gunner situation and come up on top? I would like to know. Just one of my real-time studies. Just want to know. Hit me up. Let me know. Send me a voice note. And have a good one.